Okay, welcome everyone. Today we're going to explore a really quite unsettling story that came to us through a YouTube transcript.
That's right. It's a first-hand account from someone we're calling Kune about a hotel stay in Bangkok that, well, it took a very strange turn.
Yeah, so our plan is to walk through exactly what happened, moment by moment. We want to pinpoint the weird occurrences, the things that just didn't add up.
And importantly, the person sharing this story highlighted some potential, let's call them rules or warning signs for these kinds of situations. We want to pull those out too.
Things like strange sounds, objects acting weirdly, some really disturbing discoveries he made. It's quite a ride.
Absolutely. So, if you want the breakdown of this specific chilling experience, we've got the source right here. Let's get into Kune's story.
Okay, so it starts simply enough. Kune is visiting his girlfriend in Bangkok. It's a long holiday, and he needs a hotel room.
Pretty standard stuff, right? His girlfriend's driving him around. They're looking for somewhere near her place.
They find a hotel, go in, ask the receptionist if there are any rooms free.
And initially, it's the expected answer for a holiday weekend. Nope, sorry, full up. Usually need to book ahead. Looks like bad luck.
But then, something shifts. Kune sees the receptionist whispering with, the manager.
Yeah.
A little back and forth.
Yeah, a hushed conversation. And then the receptionist turns back to Kune.
And says, actually, sir, turns out we do have one room. Just one. Room 308. Interested.
And here's where the narrator of the story jumps in with a really key point. They say this specific situation...
Being told it's full, then suddenly offered the last room.
Exactly. That's often a kind of rule or a big red flag in these spooky hotel stories. The narrator even says they experienced something similar themselves.
Okay. So according to the source, that offer itself is maybe warning sign number 1. But Kune needs a room. He's probably tired.
So he takes it, books room 308 for 4 days, 3 nights, pays up front.
Which kind of locks him in, doesn't it? If he'd maybe listened to that initial funny feeling.
Perhaps. Hindsight, So he gets the key, heads up to the 3rd floor.
And the room's location. Room 308.
It's right there, directly opposite the staircase landing. Bang on.
And his immediate thought, the source says, is about feng shui.
Yeah, this is bad feng shui. Anyone staying here is going to be unlucky. And then it hits him. He's staying there.
Right. So even the location feels a bit off from the get-go. What about inside the room?
He says it was old, a bit of a musty smell, not, terrifying on sight, but not exactly fresh either.
And his girlfriend comes up later.
She does. And she also comments on the bad feng shui of the location. So it wasn't just him feeling that.
Okay. Fast forward to the first night. He sees his girlfriend off around 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Anything weird on his way back up?
Well, as he passes the front desk, the same receptionist who gave him the key gives him this look. Kind of strange, maybe a bit knowing, just adds to the slight unease.
And then back on his floor, the 3rd floor.
He notices the door to the room next door, 307, is slightly open, just a crack. And he's pretty sure it was closed earlier.
His first thought is just, maybe someone's staying there.
Well,
I left in a rush.
Yeah, the logical explanation first. He doesn't think too much of it yet.
But then later, around 11 p.m., he's in the shower in his room, 308.
And he hears this loud sound, a dragging or scraping. The source uses the sound kink, tink, kink, like something heavy being dragged 6 or 7 times.
Coming from room 307, it sounds like.
Definitely seems to be coming from next door. So again, he thinks, must be the neighbor. Moving furniture late or something.
Okay, so he finishes up, gets ready for bed. He leaves the TV on mute, just for a bit of light, talking to his girlfriend on the phone.
And eventually he falls asleep while they're still on the call.
So, night 1. Weird room offer, odd location, funny look from the receptionist, door next door ajar, dragging sounds. Lots of little things, but nothing truly terrifying happening to him directly.
Not directly, no. Not yet. So the next morning, he wakes up, slept okay. Phone call apparently ended around 2 a.m. Figures his girlfriend just fell asleep and hung up.
He gets ready to leave, locks his door, and notices room 307's door is still ajar. Same position.
Yeah, that feels a bit stranger now, doesn't it? It's been open all night. He feels a bit uneasy, but still doesn't, push it open or closed. Just leaves it.
Then his girlfriend comes to pick him up. And this is where it gets really confusing for him.
She's actually annoyed with him. She asks him, "What were you doing last night? Dragging something around from 1 till 2 a.m. I heard it so loudly over the phone it kept me awake."
Whoa. Okay, but Kune insists he was fast asleep by 11 p.m.
Totally. He's like, "What are you talking about? I was out cold." But she's adamant. Clear dragging sounds coming through the phone from his end for about an hour.
So, He knows he didn't make the noise. He only heard dragging around 11 p.m. from next door. How could she hear it from his room via the phone hours later?
Exactly. That's the puzzle. It just doesn't make sense physically. This is the point where he really starts to think, okay, something paranormal might actually be going on here.
But he doesn't tell her. He's still got 2 nights booked.
Right. He keeps it to himself for now. Probably doesn't want to worry her, or maybe admit how freaked out he's starting to feel. He just tries to, get on with his day.
Okay, so that brings us to night 2. He gets back to the hotel around 7 p.m.
Walks up to the 3rd floor.
and room 307.
Still ajar. Same position. This is, the 3rd time he's seen it like this? Now it feels really wrong. Like, no guest would leave their door open for over 24 hours straight.
So this time, he decides he has to check it out. Close the door, maybe see what's going on.
He goes over to room 307, peeks through the crack.
And sees what?
First, something really odd. Loads of white threads, like dozens of them, wrapped around the inside doorknob.
White threads. Okay, that's bizarre. What else?
He pushes the door open a bit more, uses the hallway light. The room's empty. No bags, no loads, nothing. Clearly vacant.
An empty room, left ajar for a day, with threads on the knob. But there's more, isn't there? The mirror.
Yes, just like in his room, there's a big dressing table mirror. And stuck right in the middle of this mirror in room 307 is a big red talisman with black writing all over it.
Wow, okay, that's not normal hotel decor. That's undeniably strange and maybe a bit ritualistic.
Absolutely. Seeing the empty room, the threads, the talisman, he's properly startled now. He doesn't linger. He backs away quickly and retreats into his own room 308.
But now he knows. He knows the room next door isn't just occupied by a noisy neighbor.
Yeah.
It's empty. And it has weird, possibly protective or ritualistic items in it.
That knowledge changes everything. So he's in his room trying to, just chill out. But around 11 p.m., like clockwork, he goes for a shower.
And the dragging sound starts again. Yep.
5 or 6 times this night. But now, hearing it while knowing room 307 is empty, except for those creepy items, it's terrifying. He knows exactly where the sound is coming from relative to his shower. There's no rational explanation left.
Okay, so he finishes his shower, goes to bed, tries the same routine TV on mute for light, calls his girlfriend, trying to feel normal.
But things escalate fast around midnight. He's getting sleepy, turns off the lights, turns off the TV, still on the phone, tries to sleep.
And then bam, woken up suddenly.
By loud static set blasting from the TV. The TV he just turned off, it's back on.
And the volume.
It just starts cranking itself up rapidly, all the way to maximum. Deafening static.
Oh man. And then
the channel changes by itself. It flips to some show or something with this horrible loud laughter, ha ha ha, also at full blast, then flips right back to the max volume static.
That's terrifying. Can he turn it off, the remote?
He grabs the remote, frantically pushing buttons, nothing. It's completely dead, unresponsive.
Yeah.
He even hits it, tries changing the batteries he has, useless. The static is just painfully loud.
So his only option is to unplug it from the wall.
Right. He has to get up and pull the plug. And as he's walking across the room, past his own dressing table mirror, he glances at his reflection.
And sees, oh no.
Sees something else reflected in the mirror. Behind him, sitting on his bed, a woman. Long, dark hair, dark face, just sitting there, legs dangling off the headboard. His headboard.
Just as he sees that, he reaches the wall socket.
Pulls the plug. The TV cuts out. The room goes pitch black instantly. He's frozen. He just saw that reflected on his bed, and now he's in total darkness.
What does he do? Does he run, scream, turn on the lights?
He considers his options, terrified, running blindly, turning on the light right where he saw her. Instead, he makes this incredibly difficult choice. He pretends he saw nothing. He forces himself to walk back to the bed where he just saw the figure get under the covers and just lie there shaking, pretending to be asleep.
That takes some serious nerve.
Yeah.
Or maybe just pure fear paralysis.
Yeah.
And while he's lying there, pretending.
The phenomena shifts again, and now it's sounds and feelings in the room right there with him. First, these crinkling, squeezing sounds. Blah, blah, blah. Then, from inside the wooden wardrobe in the room, a scratching sound starts. Like long fingernails scraping the wood. Lasts for about a minute.
Inside the wardrobe. Ugh.
And then he feels it. The empty side of his bed, it dips down. Like someone just sat down right next to him.
Oh, come on. That's awful.
And from that exact spot where the bed dipped, he hears it. Faintly, but he's sure. Sobbing. Weeping sounds.
Coming from the empty space beside him on the bed.
Yeah. He just lies there, rigid, pretending to sleep through all of this, shaking uncontrollably, until somehow eventually He passes out from sheer terror and exhaustion.
Wow. Okay. Morning 3.
Yeah.
He wakes up. What's the first thought?
Get out. You
Yeah.
pack the bag, leave immediately, no question.
But before he bolts, he remembers the TV incident, the unresponsive remote.
Yeah, he has this sudden impulse. He needs to check it again. So he plugs the TV back in, picks up the remote. It works perfectly. Turns on, changes channels, volume up, volume down, everything completely normal.
Which just confirms it, right? The TV wasn't broken last night. Something else was messing with it.
Exactly. That solidifies it for him. There is definitely something seriously wrong with room 308. He feels like he has to search the room now, find some kind of explanation, some evidence, like a detective.
So he starts searching. Where does he look?
Checks high places, looks around the bathroom, nothing obvious at first.
Yeah.
But then he gets a chair, checks on top of the air conditioning unit near the ceiling. His hand touches something.
What is it?
He pulls it down. It's a small wooden doll, looks kind of crudely carved, and it's wrapped tightly in red thread, human hair, and nail clippings.
Oh, that's deeply unsettling. Hair and nail clippings.
Yeah. And he says it smelled horrific, like a dead rat. His reaction, the source says, was basically, what the hell is this? He's so freaked out, he just puts it back on top of the AC unit, doesn't even want to hold it.
Okay, that's discovery number 1. Does he find anything else? He heard scratching from the wardrobe.
Right. That makes him look inside the wardrobe again, but this time he looks up and stuck to the very top surface, inside the wardrobe.
Let me guess. Another red talisman.
Bingo. A large red talisman with black writing, looking exactly like the one he saw next door in room 307's mirror.
So his room, room 308, has its own hidden talisman, plus this disturbing doll wrapped in personal effects.
Correct. After finding those two things and remembering seeing the figure in the mirror, he's done searching. He feels like that's enough proof. He doesn't want to look under the bed or anywhere else, too scared of what he might find.
Understandable. So he grabs the bag. Time to check out.
Gets out of room 308 fast. Glances at room 307 on his way out door, still ajar, but now he's too scared to even look inside again.
Heads downstairs to the reception. It's the same guy who checked him in.
Yeah. And the interaction is weirdly normal. The receptionist just smiles and says, "Good morning, customer. Did you sleep well?"
Doesn't ask why he's checking out 2 days early.
Nope. Nothing. Kune just gives a quick, "Oh yeah, slept well, wanting to escape." The receptionist asks nothing else, just processes the checkout.
So Kune gets out of there, finds a completely different hotel.
And when he meets his girlfriend, he just tells her the first hotel wasn't very good, he wanted to move, he doesn't tell her the whole terrifying story, wants to protect her from it.
Which brings us to the end of his stay. The narrator uses this whole experience to circle back to those rules or signs.
Right, especially that number 1 sign. Hotel says it's full, then suddenly offers you the last room. The narrator really stresses this, based on Kuna's story and their own experiences.
So the advice is pretty clear. If that happens to you, always ask to see the room first before you agree or pay.
Definitely. And when you see the room, based on the story, you should look for specific things. Check the location. Is it weird, like opposite the stairs? Sniff the air. Does it smell musty or just off?
And crucially, maybe try and get a glance at the room next door if you can. Is its door weirdly ajar? Can you see anything strange inside, like those threads or a talisman?
And trust your gut. Kun-A felt the bad feng shui vibe early on, but didn't act on it. The narrator emphasizes listening to that initial sense if a place feels wrong.
Because those really disturbing items, the doll and the talisman in his own room, they were hidden. He only found them after everything had happened. A prior check might, just might, have revealed something.
Yeah. It's a truly chilling account. The narrator rated it 20 out of 10 for scariness, which tells you something about the impact. It starts the simple hotel search and ends with, well, all of that.
It really leaves you thinking, though. What are those things for? The doll, the talismans, the threads? Were they trying to trap something in those rooms? Keep something out? Or maybe, I don't know, buying something to the rooms? The story doesn't say.
And it raises that unsettling question for anyone who travels, doesn't it? How can you really be sure about the room you're staying in, especially if the signs are hidden or only start appearing once you're already there, maybe too late to just walk away easily?
Definitely food for thought. A reminder to maybe pay a little closer attention next time you check in somewhere, especially if they offer you that lucky last room.